Warning: the opinions expressed in this video do not represent YouTube, associations, agencies, or any particular individuals. Some explicit content may occur in this or future presentations. Viewer discretion may be advised, but ignored if you're into that thing.
You fuckers think that just because a guy reads comics he can't start some shit? I'll fucking take all you want!
How's it going, guys? I'm the Big Bad Wolf Benny here. This is my comic book corner. Today I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I've been going over some of my favorite issues of comic books. I've been giving you like a brief summary of them and telling you why I personally like them. Today I'm going to change it up. I'm going to tell you about a character that I love. He's probably my favorite comic book character of all time. He's Bigby Wolf, better known as the Big Bad Wolf. Funny story, actually, where I get my nickname, part of it, is from this character. So anyway, he's from a different dimension than humans, which they call the Monday world, which is technically where we're from. They're from another universe where, like, fairy tale characters exist. The comic book he's from is Fables. So it kind of gives you, where he's from, how he gets his powers, stuff like that. So his mother was a white wolf running through the forest one day. The North Wind himself saw her and thought she was so pretty that he shapeshifted, which was one of his abilities, into a wolf. He met her, they fell in love, she had 7 puppies. Now Bigby was the runt of the litter, and his brothers like to tease him. They gave him, oh, it's the Big Bad Wolf. They shortened it to Bigby. So eventually the North Wind, as he's known to do in the comics, left Winter. Winter was heartbroken from this, that she began to die. All her sons, besides Bigby, left her. Bigby was the only one who stayed behind to protect her. Now he was the runt, though, of the litter, like I said, and couldn't do much to save her when predators and scavengers came to eat her body. So he took a vow. He said every day he would eat something bigger and bigger until he himself was the biggest and the baddest. So he started off just catching little grasshoppers, which was enough to feed him because he was such a small guy. And then he eventually worked his way up from mice, rabbits, pigs, and then we come to the story of Little Red Riding Hood. He ate the grandmother, then he ate Little Red Riding Hood. While he was sleeping, the woodsman, who's another character in Fables that he has a rivalry with, well, you can see why, cut him open, pulled out Little Red and her grandmother and stuffed them full of rocks. He threw them into the sea, and that's when Bigby discovered he had some of the North Wind's powers. He could hold his breath for 3 weeks at a time until he passed the stones naturally. Then he was able to swim to shore. After that, that's when he decided that the only animal he would hunt was humans. So he found a little territory that he called his own, and he kept getting bigger and bigger until he became basically a wolf god. In fact, that's how the other wolves see him, as a wolf god. Now we fast forward a little bit, there's this new person in Fables named the Adversary. He's taking over territories, kingdoms, stuff like that. It doesn't bother the Big Bad Wolf because he's not bothering him. He, in fact, offers the job to the Big Bad Wolf to join him, but he notices that the people who work for the Adversary, their flesh is kind of tainted. It doesn't taste right. So he decides that he's just going to pretty much fuck up the Adversary for taking his meat animal and not giving him a suitable substitute for it. So time passes, he's still, he's helping people escape to the Monday world. He met a witch who he kind of protected and got her there, and he marked the trail how to get back and forth that only he would be able to do. So now he's just basically pissed off and trying to take out the Adversary. So he's setting people free, Fables are going back and forth to the Monday world now, until he finally meets Snow White and Rose Red, her sister. He notices immediately that Snow White has a very unusual scent. And in the wolf world, he says, that's how you know your future soulmate. So he agrees to take them to the Monday world, only on the condition that he could taste their flesh. Like I said, that's the only way he can tell if you're part of the Adversary's army or if you're just a normal Fable. So eventually time goes on, he's in the Monday world, he meets a certain count that likes to take credit for his kills. Funny story, it's supposed to be like Count Dracula. But he's taking all the blame for it because he's still a giant wolf. He never learned how to shapeshift because he never wanted to be like his father. He fought his father 7 times actually, and every time he was sent blown away for 7 days. So finally, after the 7th time, he gave it up and he made peace with his father, but he wanted to be his own wolf. So if he would have went off and learned from his father, he could have shapeshifted into anything he wanted, but he didn't want that ability. So Snow White actually came and got him and said, you know, we want you to be the sheriff of our town, Fabletown. If you've ever played the game The Wolf Among Us, you know what I'm talking about. But the problem is, he's a giant wolf. You can't hide him in plain sight. So Snow White stabs him with a lycanthrope knife, which basically makes him a werewolf now, so he can turn into a human. So that's how he gets his human form. He was stabbed by a werewolf knife, a lycanthrope knife. It's a pretty cool story. Like I said, there's more to the story. He and Snow finally do end up get together. I don't want to ruin some of the issues of the comics. I'm just trying to give you a backstory on him. He does end up having like 7 wolf cubs. He's not allowed at the farm. That's where they send like all the non-human looking Fables, because they're all afraid he's going to eat them, you know, because he's got such a bad reputation. He's the big bad wolf. Now I'm going to go into some of his powers. Like all Fables, he's very, very hard to kill. Fire and Silver do weaken him, but it takes a lot of that to kill him. So, like most Fables, he's pretty much unkillable by most common means. Basically, the way they do it in this storyline is the better known your tale is, the stronger you are, since everybody knows who the big bad wolf is. He's a very strong Fable, if not one of the strongest Fables. Physically, he's probably the physically most powerful Fable there is. The only one I've actually seen really rival his strength is Beast. And they never really... He actually kills Beast at one point. Besides that, he's got all your standard typical like werewolf, you know, the senses. Like his sense of smell is so strong. He's constantly got a cigarette in his mouth, so the smoke drowns out all the other smells, except for Snow White's. For some reason, no matter what he does, he cannot get drowned out Snow White's scent, which eventually becomes useful to him because they get married, so he knows where she's at all times. Like I said, he can transform between like his human form, take on more of like what you'd call a wolfman form, to his natural form, the big bad wolf. And he's like 15, 16 feet tall. He's huge. He's awesome. Let's see, what else can he do? That's pretty much it. I mean, he's got all those abilities. He's got the Northwind's abilities too. The Huff and Puff. You know, huff and I puff and I blow your house in. He actually can blow like tidal, you know, tornado-like level winds at things. And like his father, he can kind of control the lesser winds. So it's a really good read. Any story with Fables is a pretty good read. They canceled it after many, many issues in, I believe it was 2003. Then they picked it up again. I think they were retelling all the stories. Like I said, if you haven't read the comics, cool, go out, pick up a Fables. Definitely play the game, the Telltale game, The Wolf Among Us. It actually takes place before the comics start. Very cool game. It's you know, like a detective game. Pretty cool fight scenes. Gives you the choices. I like that. So you can be an asshole. You can be nice. You can kind of be neutral. Check it out. So anyway, I'm the Big Bad Wolf. I'm gonna tell you the truth, people. Those comics are based on me. I'm the Big Bad Wolf for real. So you're reading stories about me. Until next time on the Comic Book Corner, I am the Big Bad Wolf. Benny, I'll see you later.